Welcome. We are finishing Parshas Kisetse 1991, and welcome everybody. Welcome Sharon, and welcome Alyssa, and welcome Esther, and welcome Karen, and welcome Chava and Chava Rachel. So we are going to finish this, hopefully, this beautiful, amazing, deep sikha, which we all felt brought us a tremendous amount of calm, right? A way to have a perspective, like zoom out, a zooming out perspective. You know, it's interesting. There's a lot of people who go and take drugs or medicines or things to kind of be able to have this zoom out and zoom in, or zoom, you know, different perspectives. We get it all in Chassidus. This is the best zoom out meditation, I think, or outlook that we can have. We can do it any second, anywhere. We don't need any aid or any guidance from anybody helping us. Either you're not putting yourself in jeopardy or in danger in any which way. You're not detaching from the world. So the meditation and I actually did it last night. I woke up in the middle of the night and I needed to fall asleep at 3 a.m. So I did this meditation again. Yes, it worked again. I fell asleep. And it's the meditation that we've based on Tanya, the second part of Tanya, which is how Hashem created the world. And I was creating us in every second. And we did it, not yesterday, the day before, we did it in our class. And I think that's and we did it based on what we were learning in the class, that how the Rebbe is encouraging us to look at our neshama, not just what its challenge it's facing at this second, at this moment, right now, here and now, but to look at the context of where our soul came from the highest place within God. It's part of God above, part of Hashem. Hashem took our neshama, and it says Hashem really consulted with us before he created the world. So we agreed with this idea of our soul being put down to a physical world in a physical body and struggling to find the good in this world and see Hashem and reveal goodness. But we agreed to this challenge and this task. And that's what we're here in the here and now. We connect to the past and this idea that we agreed to, and we're going to get the reward of the future, which is when we discover and find and reveal Hashem, even in the darkness, even when it looks so bad and so distorted, and it is distorted and dark, and we draw godliness into the world and we persevere with good deeds and reveal God, that God is really in control and God is here giving us existence from nothing to something at this moment. Then we're also connecting with the future of what the goal was. What was the reason that we chose to come to the world, that God chose to create a world, was to reveal godliness in the physical dark world. And that gives God pleasure and nachas that there's a transformation. So there's a transformation process of darkness into light. And we are transforming it right now, right here, when we're facing a challenge. So that idea that says makes our job much easier, gives us that hope, that courage, that tenacity, that connection, that energy, that flow. The help from above is there with us. And that's the idea of Anila Dodi Vedodili, when I'm to my beloved is to me. When we're putting in our effort, then Hashem is with us. So we make that, we reach out, Hashem is with us, and we can, therefore, the Rebbe says also, when we do our efforts, when we're dealing with the challenges of the world, we deal with it with much more calm. And his yashus, he calls it tranquility, settlement, being settled. So, because we know where we came from and where we're going towards. So the moment of the dealing with the world, the transforming the world, overcoming all the obstacles, is done with much more calm. And not only that, we can already, in that moment, in this moment, every moment, sense that we're actually, whatever we're doing is the effort is the reward, because we learned in the Sikha also, the schar mitzvah is the mitzvah. The reward of the mitzvah is the mitzvah, the Rabbi said. What does that mean? What is the reward of the mitzvah? Is that God will be revealed. So if we're already revealing godliness in our mind and in our, right now, as we're doing the work, as we're doing the effort, we're already getting the reward. Meaning, see, we're not like waiting for the future reward that one day, yes, we will one day get even more reward. We'll see more revelations. But right now, we can already, the Rebbe says, have a taste and a beginning of this reward by seeing it right now, seeing the future geula, or seeing the future reward of the revelations right now by recognizing that we're revealing godliness right now with this mitzvah. So when we're all excited about doing a mitzvah, a good deed, and we're enjoying it, and we're in delight and pleasure that we get to do this mitzvah, this is the reward of the mitzvah. So that we can already experience now. And we experience that by knowing where we came from. Right now we're transforming darkness into light. It's a wonderful, good thing. It's an opportunity. Even though it seems just like we're doing some mundane physical thing, doesn't seem like too great of a deal. But when we put it in the context of what we just spoke about, past, present, future, we're actually, wow, this is an incredible, and that is our daily reward. And even though it says not even daily reward, but even every moment we can have this reward, every time we do a mitzvah. So that's the sikha that we learned so far. Let's see it inside. Paragraph 14. The Rebbe connects it to our generation, right? The Rebbe was connected to the time that we're in. Elul is the time where we're, doing this, taking an account, this we learned yesterday, of the past year and then the future year, how to make things better. So that he connected that to this idea of past, present, future. And the future is really also called a day of marriage. Like it says in the future, our relationship with Hashem will be more like a marriage rather than like a worker or a servant. It will be more on this, more unity and more connection. Similar to what we had with the second tablets, but even on a higher level of connection, there's more of an intimate unity with Hashem, where we'll see also and feel Hashem in the physical world. Okay, so our physical body will feel God within us. We'll sense Hashem, we'll experience Hashem within our body and within the physical world. And that is the goal. The goal of creation is to not detach from the physicality, but to connect and essence to essence, our essence of our soul with the essence of Hashem as it could be felt within our body. And the lowest of the lower. Okay, and that's explained to Chassidus more in other places. But let's go into the Sikha Yudalit. We are now, the Rebbe says, we are in the special generation, special time, that special year. It was the year 1991, and that we're in the generation, basically, in the years that are like Friday afternoon before Shabbos. When we're looking at the context of history of the world, we're at the very end of the 6 days, the 6,000th millennia, right? There's 6,000 years of effort and work, and the 7,000th millennia is Shabbos. So parallel to, the creation, 6 days of creation, and the 7th day is Shabbos. So so the Rebbe says also that day that the Rebbe said the Sikha was the 14th of Elul. So, and it says, whoever works on Shabbos, whoever puts an effort to prepare for Shabbos on the eve of Shabbos, eats on Shabbos. That's the saying of the rabbis in the Gemara of Lubavitcher. So that day was actually, the 13th of Elul. Gematria, the numerical value of 13 is Echad, 1. And that day, the 13th of Elul, is the day of the marriage of the previous Rebbe and his wife, the Rebbetzin. So this Shabbos, which is the 11th of Elul, right? Today's the 10th of Elul. Tonight is the 11th of Elul. Is the marriage, the date, the anniversary date of the previous Rebbe's father, the Rebbe Rashab, and his wife. Whoever, the person who took over his position as the leader of the generation, is the previous Rebbe, the Rebbe's father-in-law. And the 15th of Elul, which is coming up next week, is the day that the yeshiva of Tomchei Tmimim, the first Chabad yeshiva, was founded in Russia, in Lubavitch. And then, and it was, the 15th of Elul was the third day of Sheva Brachas, of the marriage of the Frierdiker Rebbe, the previous Rebbe. And that's the day that came the suggestion to found the yeshiva. And the previous Rebbe was appointed to be the Menayel Poel of the yeshiva, the administrator of the yeshiva, by his father. So I happen to know, thank God, Rebbe Nanes, who went to that yeshiva, and he was interviewed by the previous Rebbe when he was in the intake. The previous Rebbe, but when he was younger, when his father was still alive, he was in charge of the yeshiva Tomchei Tmimim, and Rebbe went there and had to be interviewed by the previous Rebbe before he got accepted to the yeshiva. So that's it. That's all in Elul. Now, Nisuyim, what is marriage? Okay, so there I was talking about marriage. Each and every Jewish person, every individual, also is not just the total marriage of the Jewish people with Hashem. We're talking about private marriage. It's connected with the marriage of the Jewish people with Hashem. Okay, so marriage is a symbol of our relationship and our connection, our marriage with Hashem, that will take place in the days of Mashiach. Right, our relationship with Hashem will be more intimate, more close, more one, more essence to essence, and revealed within our body. Therefore, we sign off and finish off the Sheva Brachas, talking about the last Sheva Bracha that we do at a marriage ceremony, and at the Sheva Brachas afterwards, every day of the 7 days of the festivities, we say a blessing that has to do with Geula. What is this blessing? Soon will be sounded the voices in the cities of Yehuda and the outskirts of Yerushalayim, the voice of the chassan, the groom, and the voice of the bride. So every marriage is very special and alludes to the marriage, the ultimate marriage that will take place, the relationship of marriage that we'll have with Hashem, with God, as the Jewish people. Every marriage alludes to that, but for sure, the marriage of a leader of a generation has more of that revelation or that content of, we're seeing that there's a closeness of Hashem to the Jewish people, like a marriage. And especially when the leader is a leader of the Chassidus of Chabad, which is what we're learning, Chabad Chassidus. How's Chassidus of Chabad different than other Chassidus? Is Chabad Chassidus explains very, 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 very well in our brain on different levels of understanding within the context of that makes sense in our mind. So it's not just woohoo, a nice spiritual idea that we, don't really understand or relate to. Chabad took ideas of godliness, and the effort was to make it clear in our logical human brain that we can relate to it and understand it makes sense. That's Chabad Chassidus. And until we bring these ideas into Yafutzu Ma'asecha Chutza, to spreading the well springs outside, through this, we have the revelation of Mashiach. Hashem is revealed to everybody in the entire world. Through us learning and understanding Chassidus, understanding Hashem with our human brain, that brings the recognition of everybody in the world to God, and the revelations of the future are now made accessible. Especially in the marriage of the previous Rebbe, who was the leader of the generation. The Rebbe always called him, he's the leader of the generation, of our generation. And together with this, there's also this founding that took place in the month of Elul of the Yeshiva Tomchei Tmimim. And why are they called Tomchei Tmimim? They're called Tmimim, which means whole and pure. Because they learn Torah, not just the revealed parts of Torah, like Gemara, Mishnah, Halacha, but they also learn Chassidus, the inner dimensions of Torah. So that makes Torah complete. So most yeshivas in the world, they only learn the revealed parts of Torah. And Chassid and Tomchei Tmimim, the Chabad yeshiva that the previous Rebbe's father founded in Russia, was the first yeshiva that established that they also learn the inner dimensions of Torah, which is Chassidus, and it was things that weren't never in the schedule of a yeshiva before. Not only that, Chassidus is not learned, like I said, like a nice spiritual idea that's vague and unrelatable. It was taught and is taught through the Chassidus, like that we're learning Chassidus Chabad, in a way that it's understood in our brain and it's recognized and makes sense. Similar to the revealed parts of Torah that are dealt with. They're dissected, open, back and forth. You go in and you analyze the whole thing. So the same thing, Chassidus, the inner dimensions of Torah, which is the neshama, the soul of Torah, which is even more spiritual. It's a deeper understandings and reasons of what's going on. It's even more untangible necessarily. It's brought into a way of a philosophy or an understanding that our brain can relate to it and understand it clearly. What happens when we learn Chassidus this way? The brain of a human being becomes united with this intellect of the inner dimensions of Torah, and what the Rebbe is quoting, a yichud nifla she'en yichud kamo, in a unity that there's no unity like it. Not something you can do. Unite two things that are physical, meaning two physical things. You can merge them, but they're not necessarily totally one with another. Whereas an idea of Chassidus, when we learn it and we put in our brain becomes one with these understandings, in a unity that's unparalleled. Even more than a unity of a husband and wife uniting together. It becomes one entity of not two separate things merging, but it really becomes our mind is the Torah that we're learning. Okay, the Torah becomes our mind, our brain. And this is similar to the situation, the state that will be in the times of Geula, times of Mashiach in the future. All the Jewish people will be very wise, understanding, knowledgeable. Will know the hidden secrets. And will understand the knowledge, the das of our Creator. So Hasidus is a preparation for that and a taste of that. And we're already getting this wondrous unity with Hashem through understanding Hasidus in our mind and having our brain become one with this understanding of godliness. And it's a unity that you can't compare, not even to husband and wife uniting. It's even beyond that. And that's a preparation. It says this is a preparation. It's a taste of a dugma sample of the situation that everybody will be in the times of Mashiach, when we'll be very, very wise and we'll all know the hidden secrets. We'll all understand it. We'll all relate to it. Everything in Torah will make 100% sense. Not only just make sense, but will be part of our being, part of our brain power, part of who we are. Will be just be natural. Will be just be, that's, we'll sense it in our kishkas even. Okay, our intuition, our gut reaction will be knowledge of Hashem. There won't be other things. It'll just be real, part of us. That's why the Chayla Bais David, the soldiers of the house of David, are called soldiers of the house of David. Because they win. The situation of those who are opposing or Cherfu is humiliating the heels of Mashiach. We activate the revelation and the coming of Mashiach ben David, the righteous Mashiach from the house of David, but often the Baruch Hashem L'olam Amen V'Amen, in a way that Hashem will be blessed in the world forever and ever. Like we say at the end of chapter 89 of Tehillim. שתקופה זו שמתוארת בסיום מזמור זה נסתמה כבר, ולאחרי מעשינו ועבודתנו במשך 40 שנה בהסתלקות של כבוד קדושת מלכי מיד מול נשיא דורנו, שנתווסף בהפצת אמונות חוצה באופן שנתן השם לכם לב לדעת, עיניים לראות ואוזניים לשמוע, ואתה עומדים בתקופה שייכת למזמור צדיק, שסיומו וחתומו בפסוק, וינום השם אלוקינו עלינו מעשה ידינו כוננו, שתרשה שכינה במעשה ידיכם, שזאת תשלום השכר על קלות מעשינו ועבודתנו. Okay, welcome Fruma. And this is the end of paragraph 14, and I'll take a little break, and then we have one more paragraph to finish the Sikha. So this final paragraph of paragraph 14 is, I was saying, let's lehair, arouse and take note that the time that we're in, that's described in the end of chapter 89 of Psalms. This era, this time has already finished. Why? We've already finished all the work, the efforts that we've had to do in the last 40 years since the passing of the previous Rebbe. Okay. The leader of our generation, the Rebbe called him leader of our generation. We've increased so much since then, 40 years since the previous Rebbe's going up to heaven. There's been so much spreading of the wellsprings of the teachings of Chassidus in a way that Hashem has given us a knowing heart, eyes that see, right? Obviously, we're talking about seeing godliness. Oznaim mishma, ears that hear. We're hearing things differently. We're seeing and hearing and taking in and to heart differently than we were before. So the Rebbe says now we're in a state of the time period that is connected to the chapter 90 of Psalms. The end of chapter 90 ends with the verse, the pleasantness, okay, the delight, the nam. Nam is pleasant and delightful. So the pleasantness of Hashem is upon us. Our deeds are the ones who are, filled with Hashem's pleasantness. The Shekhinah is dwelling. It's a blessing. The Shekhinah will dwell in the handiworks of your hands, in the deeds of your hands. Meaning, we can see the Shekhinah revealed in our deeds, in our work. And this is the reward. This is the payment for our efforts. For all the efforts and all the work and all the connections and all what we've done in our service of Hashem. So that's seeing the Shekhinah dwelling in the handiworks of our hand, in the accomplishments that we've done. That is the reward, like we explained. The reward of the mitzvah is the mitzvah, seeing the revelation of godliness in what we've done. So, yeah, and that we're already seeing now, Rebbe says, because we have these teachings of Chassidus that we can see deeper and bigger, and we see godliness in a way that makes sense in our brain, and we can relate to what's going on and what we're doing, and the revelation of godliness through our deeds. So let's hear what you ladies have to say, or ask, or debate. This is right, to bring it into our mind, we can debate it and discuss it and wonder and ponder. What do you have to say?
We're way too calm.
Come on, we're psyched. We're psyched up. The Rebbe gets us psyched up.
What?
I think it's amazing because the Rebbe said also, he's saying, if we want to win the war, the warriors have to be one with Hashem, and that we are B'ezrat Hashem, amen. That and that we got to the point that we've won already. And the Rebbe the other day said we won already.
Is that good?
Very exciting. But our kavanot and our intentions, and we all have to be connected to Hashem and want what Hashem wants, and then we win.
Nice.
And he said, "We're there. We're there." We did it.
Consciousness is, it seems like everything. Our consciousness is just such a major part.
Yes.
Like just consciously, I'm just saying, I don't know how to explain it, but
No, I get it.
No, that makes sense.
it just seems like
where our mind is where the rest of us will go. Of course, our consciousness is going to affect our excitement, our enthusiasm, our reality. Of course, it's totally makes sense. Put your mind where you want the reality.
We're opening the box.
Our brain is it is
yeah,
our brain.
but
Right.
it's more than, I guess it's more than just consciousness then in a way. Like, I don't know what the word consciousness, what consciousness that I'm trying to refer to is what Yehudit is teaching us about, which is, it's just the connection from
And the
before
integration?
creation. Yeah, like just
Integration of
everything,
it.
everything. Yeah, but I mean, it's like, The
It's
challenge is keeping it all in our consciousness, at all times is what the challenge is. But it's also the reward. Like, we're so powerful with our consciousness. That's what it brings to mind, that how powerful we are. I guess that's more articulating what I mean. Like,
yeah, you're articulating that we are. You said we are, and so we are. It is us.
Yes, I think it's true. I also have a little thing that I'll share with this group. I don't know if I've shared it before, but when the Rebbe is saying that every wedding, especially the wedding of the leader of the generation, but every single wedding is that taste of the Geula where we will be so intimate and so connected with Hashem, and it happens from that wedding. And the wedding is like you could taste it, you could feel it. There's that happiness, there's the excitement, there's the total unity, and you could kind of just tap into the energy, like get really excited. If you could envision Geula when you're at a wedding, like just envision the Bais HaMikdash down here, and being together, a class at the Bais HaMikdash and dancing in the courtyards of the Bais HaMikdash, but you could taste it on some level at an actual chasana. And so I have a personal minhag that I started, that whenever I'm at a wedding, I will do one dance that I actually, in my mind and in my heart and in my soul, I envision the Bais HaMikdash here. I envision the Rebbe, like, encouraging us and saying Yeshakayach for all you did. And I like just tap into the energy, like being able to get that excited. And you can really, and you can really, really feel it. And it brings, and every time your mind brings that Bais HaMikdash down, you actually are bringing it down. Like you could really, really feel it and taste it. So that's just because the Rebbe was mentioning in the Sikha about the power of a wedding. And that's, that unity and that oneness is brought out there. So I just want to share that.
I saw you dancing at your granddaughter's wedding. I saw it.
That's it. Now you know the reason I have the energy. Now you didn't know why I had so much energy. It's not me. It's not me, and it's not my age. It's because I'm tapping into the higher power of bringing that Bais HaMikdash down, and that's what it's. That was what it was. It's like that inner intention, and you just get carried into a whole new plane of reality where you're just so happy. Like to be that happy, to finally be united in the Geula Shlema with the Eibishter and with our Bais HaMikdash, and with, just a taste of it. Chassidus is a taste of it in our mind, but in a wedding, you can kind of taste it in your whole being, like moving and, having the kavanah of your mind, but then moving with your body. And it's, I'm just sharing that thought. It's, that's all.
Beautiful, beautiful. Wow. Yes, it is. It's very, 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 very wondrous and special. And a wedding is definitely, you feel a lot of love. You feel a lot of newness and unity. And there's a lot of stuff going on. So it's good to elevate it with this idea that we're united with Hashem in the marriage completely in Geula. And that we can taste that now in our being and be excited with it, because that's really happening now when we're conscious of it. I guess I'm wondering if the difference in the future is that in the future it won't be so hard to be conscious of it. It will be natural, maybe. Now we have to put our minds to it. I think a little bit more. We have to actually consciously decide to focus on it if we want to be able to be there in our mind.
Yeah, because it's hard right now, especially when all the other stuff comes at us. Like, it's very hard. It's not an easy thing to feel Geula and feel that happiness when there's all this other stuff at the same time. So it is hard. It's not it's not easy. It's very hard.
Yes. To see beyond
the one thing that we get is from learning these teachings of the Rebbe, and then you could get excited and you could feel like, oh, okay, so we are really there. But when we see the world, we don't necessarily feel that. It's in our, so it's hard work. It is hard work.
It is. I think if we want to take one main point also that can help us from this sikha is it's the point that the Rebbe made of like don't look at what's going on right now just in the context of this second of what we see in front of our eyes is what's happening. There's a lot more going on at this moment. There's the past, where our neshama came from, is happening, is like we're in that context also of where our neshama originated from, why we came here, and where our neshama is going to be in the future. And we can merge those two ideas of the past and the present, where our neshama came from, where it's going to right now in this moment. So we can be focused on those two aspects in this moment. And then that makes our moment much, much easier when we have that context. So that's what I'm going to try to take from this sikha for my, whenever I see it, like, whoa, this is a challenge for me. How can I?
Okay, so
And
can you
that's gonna be very
can you give an example? Like, just give an example of how you would take
Well,
past, present, and future
When we
and
go
make
on
it into the,
we go on the news and we hear a soldier was wounded.
right, there you go.
And he's, evacuated to the hospital, critical condition. We all get it all, how is this going on and what's going on? Or a soldier, God forbid, gave up his life and was, so these things like jar us and they're painful. And we're like, yeah, we're not jumping for joy. So that moment, we can also go to the context of where did our soul come? Where did the soldier's soul come from? It chose to come down into this world. It chose to come to a body. It chose to come to this state that they're in and giving up their life or being put in a situation of this. But this is not the whole picture. The whole picture is where we're going to, the final stages of the soul is in Geula and in the Tchias HaMeisim and the resurrection and full health in times of Geula and times of Mashiach. Everybody will be restored to good health and physical bodies. So, yeah, but the point is that right now we have an opportunity to not get sucked into the darkness of the world as we see it and get demoralized or become less energetic and less potently, and right, because of we're being dragged down. We can focus on this whole picture at the same time as we're relating to the fact that yes, there's a tragedy here. At the same time, we can also know that this is a transformative moment at this moment, if we recognize Hashem at this moment, that there's a bigger context, a bigger picture, we're bringing light into this second, into this moment. So it's not just a moment of pain, it's also a moment of bringing light into the pain. And that's the goal of creation, to bring light into the dark. And that's what we're doing right now. When we don't let the pain consume us and overcome us, we remember Hashem in the moment, remember the soul, remember the purpose of the entire picture of things and why we're dealing with darkness and how we need to deal with darkness and what we're going to come through darkness. That's really the light in the moment. And that's a transformative moment for us and for the whole world. And that's what we're here for, to not let the darkness overcome us, to see Hashem and reveal Hashem at every second, even in the darkest of the darkest moments. So that's the effort. And that makes our job easier when we know that, when we see the context.
Another thing too is how Fruma said it, like at a wedding, which is already happy. It's not a thing that someone was God forbid hurt.
Right.
So the happiness, what I saw there, what she was saying is that we're there together. We're all souls that came from long ago, way before everybody. And this is a new relationship starting to bring more good. So we see that with our Geula eyes. And what it does for the future is when we see that bride and groom again, we see them bringing Geula, and it brings me Geula, everybody Geula. I mean, it just goes around in a circle.
Beautiful.
So it gives us the strength to see Geula in the painful times, I think, when we do it. Yeah.
I love it. I love what you said. You're right. Because sometimes we could go to a wedding and we could get caught up with, the different hoo-ha that's going on there, and the different, maybe the emotional stresses that the family is going through, or the different, the crazy things that are going on at the wedding also. We can get caught up in all that external stuff also. So zeroing in, like you're saying, on what's really going on over here. There's the unity of the husband and wife together, and it's the it's a symbolizing the unity of God and the Jewish, getting into that deeper message and what's really happening on a spiritual level. That's good. Tune into that. And then we have a different experience at the wedding.
Right, and it
So
gives everyone else a different experience too, so
Yes.
it doesn't just stay it with us, with ourselves.
Right,
So-
right.
a different experience of a bris too, because
Yeah,
they say that Eliyahu Hanavi comes to every bris.
Mhm.
So he's the one who's supposed to wake up Mashiach. So I try to, when I'm at a bris, I try to speak to Eliyahu and tell him to wake up Mashiach.
To
Or
wake
tell
up.
Hashem, wait, he's supposed to wake up Mashiach. That's his job. And so I try to say,
Announce it.
Eliyahu, wake up Mashiach, or tell Eliyahu, tell Hashem to bring Mashiach. Because they say Eliyahu is at every bris.
Right, right.
Right, he is. Right. Right.
So focusing on the essence of things, the essence of things,
Helps, yes.
and the eternity of things, the timelessness, that it should be extremely motivating for us, that in every second of our lives. Like, if we focus on those two things, like, I'm just extremely motivating for me. I don't know.
It is. It is. The Rebbe's positivity
like
is extremely
many-
motivating. It
I
is.
feel like a different energy when I'm doing the things I just abhor and never want to do and like avoid. Like, I just feel a totally different energy about it. And so, because I don't get stuck, like you said, like, don't get mired up in the like externality of what it seems on the out, like realize the essence of every moment of why you're, yeah.
Yes.
It works.
Yeah,
Yes.
bring Geula into everything. Like it's easier to bring it into those hoo-ha, like the bris and the wedding. But how do you bring it into your daily life? Bring Geula into your moment right now. Like every moment, have Geula eyes. Like just try to like see, how this moment and what you're doing, what could be mundane or whatever, but try to like focus on how this is.
But it's like, in essence, it's really not mundane. And so there, and
Right.
also,
Right.
I'm gonna say, just like put more effort into, like, it just makes you want to do more pure effort into everything you're doing. Your kavana, your more mitzvahs, your teshuvah,
Yes.
it's like all that work.
Yes.
It's,
Yes.
you don't sort of say, well, oh, I'm gonna do this. I don't see like, oh, I'm not, you like have more confidence. Yes, there is an immediate reward. Yes, there is. Like, don't get negative about it, just because the full geula, I don't know, maybe it is here. Maybe like after we hang up, we'll be like,
Yes.
Where it's tangible. It's much more tangible every single second. Every single second, it's closer. The more that we could feel that, like even like you're saying that, when you're doing that mitzvah, like you're saying, oh, this is my present. I have a present right now that I'm opening up. This mitzvah is my present from Hashem. Whoa, and it's bringing geula. Oh wow.
yeah,
Right.
thank you.
And I'd say to use the positive ones as a stepping, like like get it at the positive ones, and then it's easier to jump to the negative ones.
Internalize it so you could use it when you need it.
Yeah. Then it's easier. We don't have to talk ourselves out of not. We are in.
Yeah, it becomes it becomes part of you. That's why I'm saying it's like the key is consciousness and like really, like you said, internalizing it and knowing that it's the true essence of things. That's why it's so calming. It's very grounding.
Yes.
It's grounding in reality. That's really why.
Yeah.
Right.
And knowing Hashem is creating us at every moment from nothing to something is a very powerful connection. It's connecting.
Exciting, yeah.
Very grounding. Very, very, right? Because it's creation of our whole being, our physical, our spiritual, our body, mind, hearts, everything is being renewed now at this moment.
It's animating, right? It's animating. It's not like, right, you're static.
Yes.
Or exactly. Finished.
We have
or you take it for granted or what have you. If that's
we're animated, like we're animated. You know what I'm saying? Like constantly animating us ourselves.
we're
Yeah.
animated. So that gives energy. And
Yeah.
It's also because this power of being created every moment is it's more than just Hashem is breathing life into me, like the soul coming into the body and animating the body by making it function. It's a higher level of creation. And
we're true partners.
so
right?
it's a level of Hashem is actually creating us from nothing to something. It's not just that we're something already and breathing life into us.
Keeps us alive. Yeah,
So
no. He's creating us from nothing to something in every second.
Yeah, so
that means every movement we make is literally part of his creating. That just brings home the partnership more info. I don't even know what the word is, but that's
also, right. It also makes space for the miracles, because this creation from nothing to something is more miraculous. It's a higher level of godliness than just the godliness that's animating and making the world function and go around according to the laws of nature. Okay, it's a more of an essential life force that's creating us from nothing to something. It's Yesh Me'ayin, called in Hebrew.
And you're not even separate. It's not even separate. Like it's not an it. It's not an it even. It's there. If we put it there, it's there. We don't have to talk about it being separate.
Yeah. Meaning if he's creating me right this second and I'm moving my arm to do this mitzvah or with this godly consciousness, I'm literally completely connected to him and a part of him. And that's the whole point of why we're here, and the whole point of it's like we have the focus on the essence of our our partnership and creation. Because we could decide I could move to the right or I could move to the left. I can move my arm, but we're part of the creation process. So when you're saying like it's you're saying it's constant miracle, well, if we can really get this and stay there, literally we can influence. We could, I don't want to get too grandiose and say we could create a miracle, but we can I don't know, in a partnership. Like I really believe, right? Is that accurate?
We do facilitate miracles. Yeah, we do facilitate miracles.
When we're in the mindset, then miracles come out of us.
Yeah, it's flowing through us.
The Rebbe said that we create the way the world is going.
That true.
We can, if we envision that the world goes a certain way, we could push it that way. So
let's do it.
Come on, world peace. Let's do it right now.
I know, but we're doing it.
Envision world peace right now, the whole world. We're going to go visit every country and welcome them into the Bais Hamikdash. And they're going to welcome us.
I love it.
World peace with every single soul.
That's a song. That's definitely a song. All the nations
recognizing one master of the universe. One master of the universe. World peace with every soul, recognizing one master of the universe.
Right, and it starts with each one of us and showing it, demonstrating it, and it's contagious.
And also it says the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael, Kedusha of Yerushalayim is going to spread all over Israel, and the Kedusha, the holiness of Jerusalem, the whole of Israel is going to spread all over the world. So the whole world, that's Gula. Like let's put it through right now, a process. Let's push the holiness. The Machta Yisrael, right?
Yes.
That we should make every place we are Israel. So let's bring the holiness of Israel everywhere, so people will act holy. And every country has something special. God made something special in every single country for everyone to see and enjoy. And Bezrat Hashem will experience it.
Yes. Yes. Yesterday there was somebody in my building who's Israeli. And I said to him, "Oh, come to us on Rosh Hashanah. My husband will blow shofar for you." So I said, "When is Rosh Hashanah?" So I don't know the English date. I should have looked it up. But I told him what the Hebrew date is. And I just said, "Come in the afternoon." He said he will. So that was like divine providence. We came to the elevator at the exact same time together. And his dog was jumping all over me. I was like, "What does this dog? What do you see dog want? He just wants to say hello." So that was, it was just like every little
That's a miracle right there.
It's-
That's a
yeah.
miracle.
And the day before, I met another Jewish woman who's in our building also. And I told her also, come to us on Rosh Hashanah afternoon. And she's due to have a baby very soon. And she's like, I'm coming. Yeah, I'm coming. Anyway, I don't ask them which apartment they live in because I don't want to intrude on their privacy. But they both said they'll come. They'll come. So anyway, it's all meant to be every second. And when we see the Hashgacha Pratis at that second, then we can make that miracle happen. Okay, when we recognize that we're one, right? We're revealing Hashem in the world at this moment. Hashem is creating us at every second. Then we could make things happen that we wouldn't have brought into the world if we didn't have this consciousness, if we wouldn't have this awareness, right? That Hashem is creating me at the second, and this is a moment of creation.
I just looked up
yeah.
the English date is October 3rd. So in case
Yes,
you
yes.
need to like tell someone else, you'll have it in
Thank
your head.
Yeah, I told them you can look it up online, and, you know.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, so
Yeah,
you
you
know.
don't want to make them do 2 steps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So just in case it
Yeah.
happens, just sharing that. I looked it up.
That-
Good to
Very-
know. I didn't know either when it is. Somebody asked me, I wouldn't know it's October 3rd.
It's very exciting. Yeah, it's that you're gonna have that he got invited and that you're gonna have a guest and to look forward to that. That's gonna be very exciting.
Hopefully 2 guests.
2 guests. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe more, we'll see. Okay, so let's, the next thing, which you ladies already came to, which is the next paragraph, is the Rebbe says not to, what's the next step is to publicize it, which is what you ladies were talking about. Let's bring it to the whole world. Now, from the instructions from what we've learned before just now, when it comes to action, what should we do now? Action is the main thing. What is it? Number one, the Rebbe gives 3 things. Number one, the first time to publicize, but every place. To publicize that we're at the end of all the deeds and actions and our efforts throughout the generations. And it's the end of the period of Kitetzel and Milchamav. You should go out to war on your enemies, which is where I've explained our soul coming into the body and to reveal godliness in this dark world. We're already at the beginning of the period of Hashem giving us our reward or our payment. It's the giving of the time for tzaddikim. There's a reward for the righteous. What's this reward? When it says, when you will come to the land, Kitavo, next week's Torah portion, which we read the Shabbos and Mincha, will set on inherited. That's inherited. That's the reward, which is seeing what we explained, seeing Hashem in this world. So therefore, in accordance to this and fitting for this, we need to do our service, our efforts, also in things that are connected to the days of Mashiach, the Geula and the Beis Hamikdash and the Holy Temple. But the main thing, to do it with calm, tranquility, settlement, simcha v'tublevav, joy and gladness of heart. Making also for bring-ins of joyous for bring-ins, especially when they come and are connected with the joy of marriage. Shivat Yimei Mishteh, the 7 days of the Mishteh, of the celebrations. Including also the minhag, the custom in the Jewish, amongst Jews, to make a meal for poor people. That's what they used to do in the weddings. They used to have tables for people who were not the, part of the wedding family's, friends, but they were poor people that needed to eat simply. And this is to be similar to, and a preparation to, what we're taught, or what we're told, that in the future, we will be filled with laughter. Our mouths will be filled with joy and laughter. So this idea of joy and rejoicing and be filled, our mouths filled with laughter, shouldn't be in the future, but should be now also in the present. He said, especially since the leader of our generation is the previous Rabbi, whose second name is Yitzchak, which means laughter and joy. So, and he's also the 8th leader from the Baal Shem Tov. So therefore, the laughter should be filled in our mouths now, not just in the future. And so that's number one. To let everybody know that we've finished the time period of going out to war, and we're in the time frame where now we have to do everything in a way of settlement, calm, and laughter and joy, right? And this as a preparation for the time where we'll be filled with laughter and filled with joy. So that's number one. Number two, to also advertise in every place that there's a special shlichus for the boys who are learning in the yeshiva that the previous Rebbe's father founded, and they are called candles that illuminate. Aside from every Jewish home is supposed to be and needs to be a house of Torah, a house of prayer, a house of kind deeds, like we've spoken many times. Every house should be similar to the yeshiva Tamchei Tmimim. So the Torah that we fill our homes with is not just Torah, the revealed parts of Torah, but also the deeper dimensions, the soul of Torah. So that's number two. So this is something good to bring even to people when we go visit people. I'm going to take note of this right now. God willing, we go to somebody's house who's, let's say, not so observant. And especially now I'm doing that more with my husband. Now we go to people's homes to check or to invite them to put up a mezuzah. We explain to them the idea of mezuzah. So it would be good to tell them and explain to them their home, wants every home to be a house of Torah, a house of prayer, a house of kind deeds, and a house of similar to Tamchei Tmimim, that there's Hasidus, the inner dimensions of Torah being learned. Every home, not just people who consider themselves observant. Every Jewish home needs to be the same. So that's the second thing. So the first thing that was to publicize this in every place, that we have a special shlichus. Number three, the fasem, to publicize what? To put efforts into making sure people have what they need for the holidays, all those who need, 30 days before the holiday. So the 14th of Elul is 30 days before Sukkot. So they can prepare for the time of our rejoicing with calm, with joy, with gladness of heart. And even before this, to be able to prepare already for Rosh Hashanah. It says already by Rosh Hashanah already, we're already supposed to be able to eat fatty food, meaning, good food, drink mamtakim, sweet things, and be able to share food to those who don't have. It should be Hashem's will that through speaking about this, through taking upon ourselves good resolutions, everything that we spoke about, we will have immediately the merit. Hashem should give each and every one of the Jewish people everything they need. From Hashem's open, plentiful, holy, and abundant hand. It's the main thing that we really want. Geula, true redemption, the true redemption and complete redemption through a righteous Mashiach. Like it says in the Parsha Yisava that we read on Shabbos Mincha, that when we'll come to the land, we'll inherit it, we'll settle it, and that should be immediately. Then times of Gula will be able to take from the fruits of the land and bring them up to the Beis Hamikdash. God the Sima Parasha Shakurim B'Mincha Hashkifa Mimon Kodshecha Min Hashamayim Uvarach Et Amcha Et Yisrael Chel Ma'Barcha Ikarit Geula Amitit V'Hashlama V'Mishech Titkenet Tekef Minad Mamash. Until we finish what it says in the Parasha which we read in Mincha, Hashem it's a deeper looking Hashkifa from the dwelling in your holy dwelling, Min Hashamayim in heaven, and Barach Et Amcha, bless your nation, the Jewish people, starting with the blessing, the main blessing of the true and complete redemption through our righteous Mashiach immediately mamash. So that is the Sicha Kitetse 1999. Yes. So 3 things to advertise. One is that we're at the end of an era already of the struggles of going out to war, spiritually. We're already at the beginning of the era. We're getting reward, and we can do things with that tranquility, that confidence, that knowing, similar to what will be in times of Gula, where we'll be filled, our mouths will be filled with laughter. So that's making farbrengens and doing good things that bring joy. Then second thing, to let everybody know their home can be a home of Torah, Tefillah, Tzedakah, and Chassidus, learning of Chassidus, like this Yeshiva Tomchei Tmimim. Number 3, to advertise and to publicize and to influence everybody to be involved in making sure everybody has the needs for the holidays. Yes. So anybody want to say, or shall we just do the psukim quickly before? Let's do the psukim.
Yeah, Sukkum,
Yeah,
yeah.
so-
and victory dance.
yes. Okay, turn off the recording. Okay.